own livestock, then you do understand that protection is a huge responsibility from predators like coyotes and bobcats, hawks, raccoons, possums. Predators don't care if it's day or night, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if there's a hurricane. That's why when you're choosing something to protect your livestock, it's extremely important to make sure that you make the right choice. Today we're going to talk about what we chose to protect our livestock after a lot of research, which is the LGD, also known as a livestock guardian dog, and our choice was the Great Pyrenees. At Hartland Oaks, we have 5 Great Pyrenees on our property. We have mom, dad, an older sister, and 2 puppies in training right now. First, I want to introduce the big, bad, mean gunner on our property right here. He and his wife, Beretta, she is right here actually. Both of them are together. They were our first 2 dogs on the property. We got them when they were about 6 weeks old. They are not from the same litter, so there's no inbreeding on our property. Beretta is actually, I think, 6 days older than Gunner is. And Gunner, as you can see, is extremely vicious. So much to the point where he will scare somebody when he barks and he looks big, but we're still not sure if he would actually do anything, and we hope to never have to find out. Next is Beretta, which I kind of already introduced her. She went missing somewhere. There she is, down there. She's actually, I think, the most protective guardian that we have. She's the smallest, but she is loud and proud, and she notices every single thing. Deer, birds, cats, anything that does not belong on the farm. Next is Kimber. She's laying down over here, just kind of looking around everywhere. She's actually one of the puppies from the first litter that Gunner and Beretta had. She's the only one that we kept from that litter because we didn't really have a whole lot of livestock at the time to protect, and then I just keep getting more so that we have more things to do. We do let her out in the big yard so that she can patrol, and eventually she'll be out there more permanent because we're trying to expand our farm and make sure that every piece of the property is protected. This last year we had another litter of puppies, which we expected because we did grow quite a bit, as I said before. And so we have Colt puppies. Come here. I'm not sure. Oh, there's Colt right there, and there's Savi, and they are in the process of learning to be guardians. They're pretty good at it. They leave the chickens alone, they leave the rabbits alone. We do let them out in the big yard sometimes, and they go straight to the pond and go swimming. So that's not really a bad thing. They don't try to leave the yard. So yeah, Great Pyrenees, they're not trained to be guardians. They're actually born into it. It's what their calling is. It's just kind of in their bloodline, and that's what makes them really great about being guardians. For thousands of years, the Great Pyrenees would guard sheep against wolves and bears, often working by themselves without any human direction. It's just, like I said before, built into their DNA. It's in their instincts to be protective. They don't need constant commands. In fact, they're pretty stubborn. They don't like commands. They just kind of do their own thing. They assess situations on their own, make decisions, and they protect their animals like their family. You may have heard about Casper, the Great Pyrenees, who actually stood alone to protect his own flock from a pack of coyotes. He was outnumbered, he was injured, but he refused to back down. Out of the pack of 11 coyotes, it was said that he killed 8 of them. He chased 3 of them, saving his entire flock of sheep. Casper was extremely injured, but he did survive. His loyalty and instinct that comes from the Great Pyrenees, he guarded his flock no matter what the circumstances would be or the repercussions of it, and he ended up becoming a dog hero. Hopefully we never have to find out if our dogs are great protectors or not. They do a lot of barking, They do a lot of growling. They'll run to the fence to bark at things, so they look extremely vicious. But again, they're just big babies on the inside and vicious on the outside. I do believe that they are loyal to their herd. Even when the girls have babies, they lay around and protect them from all the other goats. Not that any of the goats are going to hurt the babies, but it's just built into them to try and protect the babies. One of the biggest reasons people love Great Pyrenees is their temperament. Again, that's why we chose the Great Pyrenees. They are incredibly gentle. Violet just fell. Incredibly gentle with their goats, sheep. We have chickens out here. We take them places with rabbits, newborn baby goats, newborn baby donkeys. They don't chase them. They don't nip at them. We also have lots of people that come and visit our farm, young children, so it's extremely important that we have animals that are sweet and gentle, but also would protect the livestock if there was any danger. It's their big bark really that is scary, not the big bite. Predators are smartest at night, and that's when the Great Pyrenees are awake too. So they sleep during the daytime, that's when they get their rest, and that's when we can guard our flock. But at nighttime is when they're awake and they're patrolling the animals. So while we're sleeping at night, they're actually monitoring the fence line. We used to get up every time they barked, but now we just kind of know that they're going to deal with it on their own, and there's never anything bad. They're just scaring things away. They listen to everything. Any sound whatsoever that they hear that is not normal, they'll bark at it. Oftentimes their presence alone, I think, is what keeps the predators away. And then if they do start coming towards us, the bark, I think, that backs them up. So the farm is protected. Prevention is key. Great Pyrenees are independent thinkers. They don't need you watching over them all day long. Once they're bonded to their livestock, they take their job very seriously. At the same time, they're deeply loyal to their people. As you can see, they just kind of are hanging out pretty much wherever I am. I've got one under me, I've got one sitting over there, one sitting over here. They may not be obedient, they don't like to walk on a leash, they don't always come when you tell them to come, but they are always aware of what's happening on your property, which is their job. If they were paid, that's what they would be paid to do. They don't need much training. It's born into them. That's just in their DNA. They just instinctively know that their job is to take care of these guys. So it doesn't really matter what climate you live in. They have coats that protect them. They have a double layer coat that keeps them warm from the cold, the heat, the wind, the rain. We never have to bathe them, so they'll be white, and the next day they'll be completely covered in mud, and then the very next day they're clean again. I don't really understand it. I don't ask questions, but it's just their special coat that protects them. They love wide open spaces. They don't need anything fancy. We don't really have a big fancy barn. They actually, during one of the hurricanes, Gunner, the big dad, stayed outside in the storm the entire night. Wind, rain, the whole thing, trees falling, and just guarded his livestock. It's his favorite job to do. Our Great Pyrenees, they're not just livestock guardian dogs, they're actually part of our family. They form deep bonds with both the livestock and with people. They watch over babies, they stay close during stressful situations. They just really seem to know when something isn't right. We did have one unfortunate situation where we had a baby goat. Something happened to it and it died. We don't really know what happened to it, but Gunner was protecting it even after it had passed, and he was so depressed afterwards that he did not even eat for 2 days. He just stayed in the same spot for 2 whole days until he realized that that baby was not coming back. So if you're looking for a protecting dog, a livestock guardian dog, we highly recommend the Great Pyrenees for all the reasons I've mentioned. Loyalty, compassion, empathy, their hardiness, they're gentle, they're just great big giants. Now you know why at Hartland Oaks we chose the Great Pyrenees. you have Pyrenees stories of your own, drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe for more videos.